Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to get Half-Life for your Sega Dreamcast. Now, Valve, they made a Half-Life port for a Sega Dreamcast, and sadly they kept delaying it until the Dreamcast died. That's long story short. And a Valve employee went ahead and leaked it a few years later. And you can download the file off the internet and burn on the disc and play it on your Dreamcast. Now, in order for me not to get sued, I have to go over a few disclaimers. Now, the first thing is I'm not responsible for anything that you do in your actions. If you do anything that harms your computer using the knowledge I pass on to you, it's not my fault and I cannot be held responsible. And as of today, on the day I record this video, this process works without problem. And if there's anything that's wrong with it, just send me a message and I'll update this video to make sure that you all get it right. And hopefully you do not use anything that I pass on to get into pirating games, because first of all, that's what killed the Sega Dreamcast, and I'm still upset about that, even come like 10 years later or so. But so let's move on here. Now, you have to own some things in order to do this legally, unless you actually go ahead and do it illegally, which I do not endorse and actually condemn. So, what you want to own is you want to own a Sega Dreamcast, first of all, and secondly, you want to own a Dreamcast game. So, like, say if you have like any Sega Dreamcast game that is like an official game made by Sega in its packaging or all, just a game disc that obviously is not pirated at all, because there's some files on that disc that you must own in order to be using this image, because it has these files in it and you don't want to be getting in any trouble with Sega. And the last and final thing you need to own is Half-Life, which is obvious if you've done your research on ROMs, that ROMs are totally legal if you own the game that you are downloading the ROM for, because they're technically just making a backup for it. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go in your Internet Explorer or whatever web browser you use, go in the URL bar and take out google.com if you're open to Google, and type in doperoms.com. Now, I'll post a link in the description for you so I don't have to spell it out. And this is a great site if you want to get into emulators and ROMs. I'll go over on how to use that and maybe how to use it on your phone too. And just check out for that if you're interested. And scroll down on this menu here where it says ROMs, and you want to scroll down until you see Sega Dreamcast. So click on that, and you should get a menu like this. So obviously we do not want 101 Dalmatians to the Rescue Part 1. So let's look in this alphabet here and locate the letter H. Now, I'll give you $1 if you can find it, because it's uber hard. Now, if you have trouble finding it, just consult with your ABCs and it should all be fine. So click on H, and you should get this. And the first thing that will come up on here on the menu will be halflife.zip. Now click on that and you should get this page. And obviously, unless you're going to be downloading a lot of ROMs at the same time, click on download ROM. And it's a decent sized file. It's about 325 megabits. No, my bad, megabytes. So if you have Time Warner cable, it's definitely going to take forever to download. But otherwise, it should download relatively quickly unless you're using dial-up. So scroll down here. Do not click on these add buttons that look like they're download buttons. That'll just take you to a different site and make you want to like buy something or anything like that. Look for this tiny little download button here, where it has a little tiny arrow in a circle and it says download. And underneath it should say halflife.zip in blue. So go ahead, click on that, and you should get that. Now, I already saved that onto my hard disk, so we do not need to download that because it takes a little bit. So just cancel out of that. Well, I should cancel out of that. But once you extract the file, you should get something that looks like this. That says halflife.cdi. Now, CDI is a disk. A disk juggler image. Now, what this means is it's a little CD image that you need to program to burn. And obviously, because as of today, Disk Juggler is hard to find without having to go to any like Rapid Share or Mediafire download. And you don't want to risk anything with that, with getting viruses and all. So I would use an alternative program called Alcohol 120%. Now, how you get this, I would also post the link in the description, but you go to, I'll just go to Google for my sake, so I don't type in anything wrong. And, type into Google, alcohol, 120%. And the first thing that will come up is CD and DVD burning software, alcohol soft copy, ... It's from www.alcohol-soft.com. Now click on that. It's the first thing that comes up. Shouldn't be too hard. And you would get a web page like this. If it doesn't look like this, you got the wrong website. Now, what you want to do here is you want to click on Download Trial. Now, if you want to get into a lot of disk burning, this is a great program. It's about $50 right now. It's kind of like Minecraft, where it's kind of a little bit a lower price because they're on beta and all. But it's used by like a lot of people. It's used by BP, NASA, Dell, and all. So click on Download Trial, and you should get a web page that looks like this from free downloads. So from here, click on Download, and you should get a little prompt like that. Now click Run, and it should run without problem, and you just install that. Now let's move on to opening alcohol once you install it. I'll just open up alcohol right now here, and this is what it should look like if you have the trial. Now let's say trial version, please wait. It gives you a little countdown. So that's just something that's there to annoy you while you're doing the 15-day trial. And click OK right there, and it should open up the software. Now, here's what alcohol looks like. Click on Image Burning Wizard, and you should get this little prompt here. It'll ask you for the image file that you want to burn. Click Browse, and from there, navigate to wherever you downloaded and extracted the Half-Life.cdi file, which, because I did this before, it automatically recognized where it was. So click Open, and make sure here this is just a Dreamcast thing, but make sure it says over in this area Session 2 Track 2. Now that's just the way how Dreamcast games work, and if it doesn't say that, then double check what ROM you have. Just download it from a different site. Most of the times it can actually say like track 1, session 2 and all, but this is mainly if you know this, it's probably definitely going to work. So click Next from there, and what you want to do is under your data type, it should be by default to customize. So go ahead and change that to PlayStation, because PlayStation just works a little bit better. If it doesn't work for you if you use PlayStation, go ahead and click Customize. Customize. But otherwise, just go to PlayStation. So what you want to do next is on your write method, by default, it should be RAO/SAO. Now go ahead and change that to RAWDAO. That's how you want to record it. And the last thing you want to do is on your write method, your write speed, you want to select it to the lowest possible setting, like right here. Let's go with 10x. So let's go change this back to PlayStation. There we go. So once you have all of this, make sure Enable Buffer Underrun Technology is selected, and you can start burning your disk. It'll start like that, and once it's done, which will take a few minutes, the disc will pop out for you, and it'll make a nice ta-da sound, and you should be ready to play on your Dreamcast. Now, thank you for watching. Check out my other videos, and hopefully you use this to the best extent of the law, and I do not get sued. So, thank you again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon in a different video.